Ah, the office. Remember that place? The stale coffee, the awkward water cooler conversations, the soul-crushing monotony of fluorescent lights and beige walls. For many, the pandemic offered a tantalizing glimpse into a world beyond the cubicle walls, a world where sweatpants were acceptable work attire and the daily commute involved nothing more than stumbling from bed to desk. But just as we were getting comfortable in our new normal, a funny thing happened. The powers that be, the captains of industry, the folks who still think a power lunch involves a tie and a dry martini, they started to get antsy. The siren call of the office, with its promise of control, collaboration, and perhaps a slightly less casual dress code, began to echo through the boardrooms. And so began the great return to office tug-of-war, a corporate showdown for the ages. On one side, we have the executives clinging to the familiar rhythms of the pre-pandemic world, yearning for the days when they could casually stroll past your desk and remind you about that deadline. On the other side, we have the workers, newly empowered by the freedom and flexibility of remote work, reluctant to surrender their hard-won autonomy. The question is, who will blink first? Will 2025 be the year the office makes its triumphant return? Or will the remote work revolution continue its inexorable march? The answer, as with most things in life, is a resounding "it depends." So buckle up, grab a cup of coffee or a margarita, no judgment here, and join us as we explore the wild, wacky and often perplexing world of the modern workplace. The office, once a symbol of productivity and professional life, has now become a battleground of ideologies. On one hand, there's the undeniable charm of face-to-face interactions, the spontaneous brainstorming sessions, and the camaraderie that can only be built in person. On the other hand, remote work has shown us that productivity doesn't necessarily require a physical office. In fact, many have found that they are more efficient and happier working from the comfort of their own homes. The debate is not just about where we work, but how we work. It's about redefining what productivity looks like in the 21st century. Can we find a middle ground that offers the best of both worlds? Hybrid work models are emerging as a potential solution, allowing employees to split their time between the office and remote locations. This approach aims to combine the benefits of in-person collaboration with the flexibility of remote work. However, implementing a hybrid model is not without its challenges. Companies must navigate issues such as ensuring equitable access to resources, maintaining company culture, and managing the logistics of a distributed workforce. It's a complex puzzle, but one that many believe is worth solving. As we stand at this crossroads, it's clear that the future of work is still being written. The choices we make now will shape the professional landscape for years to come. Whether we return to the office, continue working remotely, or find a new balance altogether, one thing is certain: the way we work will never be the same. So, as we navigate this new terrain, let's keep an open mind and be willing to adapt. The modern workplace is evolving, and with it, our understanding of what it means to be productive, engaged, and fulfilled in our professional lives. The journey may be uncertain, but it's also full of potential and opportunity. So, whether you're team office or team remote, remember that the ultimate goal is to create a work environment that supports your well-being and allows you to thrive. After all, work is not just about getting things done, it's about finding a balance that works for you. As we look ahead to 2025 and beyond, let's embrace the possibilities and challenges that come with this new era of work. The future is unwritten, and together we have the power to shape it in ways that benefit us all. So, grab your coffee, your laptop, and maybe even your sweatpants, and let's dive into the ever-evolving world of work. The adventure is just beginning. The modern workplace is a dynamic, ever-changing landscape, and it's up to us to navigate it with creativity, resilience, and a sense of humour. So, here's to the future of work, whatever it may hold, and join us as we explore the wild, wacky, and often perplexing world of the modern workplace. Let's start with a case study in corporate waffling. Chipotle Mexican Grill, this beloved fast casual chain known for its burritos and bowls, has found itself in a bit of a pickle when it comes to its return to office policy. Now, I'm not sure what kind of corporate brainstorming session leads to a 4-day in office policy, but it seems like a decision that was made with a lot of back and forth. Imagine a room full of executives, each with their own opinions, trying to find a middle ground. It almost feels like someone in their HR department drew the short straw. Maybe they were hoping to appease both the higher-ups, who want to see faces in the office, and the employees who have grown accustomed to the flexibility of remote work. Perhaps they were aiming for a happy medium, a delicate balance between the demands of the C-suite and the desires of the workforce. It's a tightrope walk, trying to keep everyone satisfied. But here's the kicker. Chipotle's CFO, Adam Reimer, has hinted that this whole 4-day experiment could vanish faster than a plate of free chips and guac if productivity dips even slightly. It's a precarious situation where the slightest misstep could lead to a complete reversal of policy. Now, I'm no financial whiz, but this seems like a recipe for disaster. The pressure on employees to perform under such conditions can be immense. Imagine constantly worrying that your productivity is being scrutinized to the point where it could impact the entire company's work culture. Can you imagine the pressure of knowing that your Friday afternoon Netflix binge could single-handedly bring an end to casual Fridays for the entire company? It's almost comical, yet it underscores a serious issue. Talk about a case of the Mondays. The stress and anxiety this kind of policy can create are palpable. Employees might find themselves constantly second-guessing their every move, wondering if they're doing enough to justify the flexibility they've been granted. Chipotle's predicament highlights a fundamental tension in the return-to-office debate, the struggle to quantify the often intangible benefits of remote work. It's not just about being physically present, it's about the quality of work and the overall well-being of employees. How do you measure creativity, innovation, or employee well-being? These are not metrics that can be easily captured on a spreadsheet, yet they are crucial to the success of any organization. Can you put a price tag on a shorter commute, a better work-life balance, or the ability to wear sweatpants to a meeting without judgment? These are the perks of remote work that many have come to cherish. The answer, of course, is complicated. There are no easy solutions, and each company must navigate these waters carefully, considering the unique needs and circumstances of their workforce. But one thing is clear. Simply measuring productivity in terms of hours spent in the office is a rather simplistic approach, particularly in a world where technology allows us to work from virtually anywhere. The future of work is flexible, and companies like Chipotle will need to adapt if they want to thrive. The return-to-office debate isn't just a philosophical one. It's a battle being waged in boardrooms and break rooms across the globe. This debate has taken on a life of its own, becoming a central issue for companies as they navigate the post-pandemic world. The question of whether employees should return to the office or continue working remotely has sparked intense discussions and differing opinions among business leaders, employees, and industry experts alike. It's a topic that touches on productivity, company culture, employee well-being, and even the future of cities and real estate. The stakes are high, and the decisions made today will shape the future of work for years to come. In this corner, we have two heavyweights, each representing a different vision of the future of work: Amazon and DirecTV. Amazon and DirecTV are not just companies, they are symbols of two contrasting approaches to the workplace. On one hand, we have Amazon, a company that has built its empire on the foundation of innovation, efficiency, and a relentless drive to dominate the market. On the other hand, we have DirecTV, a company that has embraced the changing landscape of work and adapted to the new normal with a focus on flexibility and employee satisfaction. In the blue corner, hailing from Seattle, Washington, it's the behemoth of online retail, the titan of tech, the company that single-handedly made it socially acceptable to wear cargo shorts to a shareholder meeting. Amazon. Amazon's approach to the return-to-office debate is rooted in its belief that in-person collaboration is essential for innovation. The company has invested heavily in its office spaces, creating environments that are designed to foster creativity, teamwork, and a strong company culture. Amazon, under the leadership of Andy Jassy, has been a vocal proponent of the return to office movement, issuing mandates that have sent employees scrambling for their forgotten ID badges and forcing them to relearn the ancient art of small talk. Jassy's stance is clear. He believes that the office environment is crucial for driving innovation and maintaining a cohesive company culture. He argues that the spontaneous interactions and face-to-face collaborations that occur in the office cannot be replicated in a remote setting. Jassy argues that in-person collaboration is essential for innovation and that the office environment fosters a stronger company culture. He points to the success of Amazon's past innovations, many of which were born out of impromptu discussions and brainstorming sessions that took place in the office. For Jassy, the return to the office is not just about productivity. It's about preserving the unique culture that has made Amazon one of the most successful companies in the world. But in the red corner, coming to us from El Segundo, California, it's the champion of couch potatoes, the sultan of streaming, the company that brought you more channels than you could ever possibly watch. DirecTV. DirecTV's approach to the future of work is a stark contrast to Amazon's. Under the leadership of CFO Ray Carpenter, DirecTV has embraced a remote-first workplace model, allowing employees to work from anywhere and reaping the benefits in terms of cost savings, employee satisfaction, and, surprisingly, increased productivity. DirecTV, under the leadership of CFO Ray Carpenter, has taken a decidedly different approach, embracing a remote-first workplace model and reaping the benefits in terms of cost savings, employee satisfaction, and, surprisingly, increased productivity. Carpenter's philosophy is that by offering employees the flexibility to work from anywhere, DirecTV can attract and retain top talent, reduce overhead costs, and create a more engaged and productive workforce. Carpenter argues that by offering their employees flexibility and autonomy, they've created a more engaged and productive workforce. He believes that the traditional office model is outdated and that the future of work lies in giving employees the freedom to choose where and how they work. This approach, he argues, not only leads to higher job satisfaction, but also drives better business outcomes. So who's right? Is it the tech giant with its sprawling campuses and insistence on face-to-face interaction? Or the entertainment company that's embraced the remote work revolution and come out on top? The answer, as you might have guessed, is far from simple. The reality is that there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to the future of work. What works for Amazon might not work for DirecTV, and vice versa. The answer, as you might have guessed, is far from simple. The reality is that there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to the future of work. Each company must find a model that aligns with its values, culture, and the needs of its employees. For some, like Amazon, the return to the office may be the best path forward. For others, like DirecTV, a remote-first approach may be the key to success. The reality is that there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to the future of work. The key is for companies to find a model that aligns with their values, their culture, and perhaps most importantly, the needs of their employees. This means taking into account the unique challenges and opportunities that each company faces, as well as the preferences and expectations of their workforce. What works for Amazon might not work for DirecTV, and vice versa. The key is for companies to find a model that aligns with their values, their culture, and perhaps most importantly, the needs of their employees. This means taking into account the unique challenges and opportunities that each company faces, as well as the preferences and expectations of their workforce. The key is for companies to find a model that aligns with their values, their culture, and perhaps most importantly, the needs of their employees. This means taking into account the unique challenges and opportunities that each company faces, as well as the preferences and expectations of their workforce. Ultimately, The future of work will be shaped by the choices that companies make today, and the ability to adapt and evolve will be crucial for success in the years to come. Now, before we get too carried away with this whole return to office debate, let's take a step back and ask ourselves a fundamental question. Is remote work actually here to stay, or is it just a pandemic-induced blip on the radar of workplace history? This question isn't just a fleeting curiosity. It strikes at the heart of how we envision the future of work, productivity, and even our daily lives. To answer it, we need to delve deeper into the past, present, and potential future of remote work. To answer that, we need to delve into the annals of history, dust off our time-traveling DeLoreans, and journey back to a simpler time, a time before Zoom meetings and Slack notifications, a time when the only thing remote about work was the possibility of finding a parking spot within a 5-block radius of your office. Imagine the world of the 1970s and 1980s, where the idea of working from home was almost unheard of, and the daily commute was an accepted part of life. The truth is, the concept of remote work has been around for far longer than you might think. Even in those early days, there were visionaries who saw the potential for a more flexible work environment. They imagined a world where technology could free us from the confines of a traditional office. From the early days of telecommuting, when fax machines and dial-up modems were considered cutting-edge technology, to the gradual evolution of the internet, which began to make remote work more feasible. In the 1990s, the rise of personal computers and the World Wide Web started to change the landscape of work. Companies began to experiment with telecommuting, allowing a select few employees to work from home on a trial basis. To the rise of the gig economy and the digital nomad lifestyle, which further pushed the boundaries of what was possible. The 2000s saw the emergence of platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, which enabled freelancers to find work from anywhere in the world. This was a game changer for many, offering unprecedented freedom and flexibility. The seeds of the remote work revolution have been sown for decades. Co-working spaces began to pop up in major cities, providing a middle ground between the traditional office and working from home. These spaces offered the flexibility of remote work with the social and professional benefits of an office environment. However, it took a global pandemic, a seismic shift in the way we live and work, to truly catapult remote work into the mainstream. The COVID-19 pandemic forced companies around the world to adapt almost overnight. Offices were closed and employees were sent home with their laptops and a mandate to keep the business running from their living rooms, kitchens, and bedrooms. Suddenly, companies around the world were forced to adapt, to embrace technology and flexibility in ways they never thought possible. Video conferencing tools like Zoom and Microsoft Teams became household names, and collaboration platforms like Slack and Trello became essential. The initial transition was challenging, but many companies found that their employees were just as productive, if not more so, when working remotely. And you know what? Many of them found that it wasn't half bad. Employees enjoyed the flexibility of working from home, avoiding long commutes and having more control over their work-life balance. Companies began to see the potential for cost savings on office space and other overhead expenses. But now, as the pandemic recedes into the rearview mirror, the question remains, will remote work stand the test of time? Or will it fade away like so many other trends? Some companies are eager to bring employees back to the office, citing concerns about collaboration, company culture and employee engagement. Others are embracing a hybrid model, allowing employees to split their time between the office and home. The answer, as always, is far from certain. The future of work is still being written, and it will likely be shaped by a combination of factors, including technological advancements, employee preferences and economic conditions. What is clear, however, is that the pandemic has fundamentally changed our expectations about work. But one thing is clear, the genie is out of the bottle. Remote work is no longer a fringe concept. It has become a mainstream option for millions of workers around the world. The flexibility and freedom it offers are hard to ignore, and many employees are reluctant to give them up. The pandemic has fundamentally shifted our expectations about work, and there's no going back. As we move forward, companies will need to find a balance that works for both their business needs and their employees' preferences. Whether that means fully remote, hybrid, or a return to the office. One thing is certain, the future of work will be more flexible and dynamic than ever before. The productivity puzzle. Can we measure happiness? One of the most common arguments against remote work is that it leads to a decrease in productivity. Critics argue that without the structured environment of an office, employees might find it difficult to maintain the same level of focus and discipline. They worry that the home environment, with its myriad distractions, could lead to a significant drop in work output. The logic goes something like this. If employees aren't physically present in the office, under the watchful eyes of their managers, they're more likely to slack off, to spend their days binge-watching Netflix and perfecting their sourdough bread recipes instead of, actually working. This perspective is rooted in a traditional view of work where physical presence equates to productivity. But is there any truth to this claim, or is it merely a reflection of outdated thinking that fails to recognize the evolving nature of work in the digital age? Or is it just another example of old-school thinking struggling to adapt to a changing world? The reality is that the modern workforce is increasingly diverse, with varying needs and preferences that can't be neatly boxed into a one-size-fits-all approach. The answer, my friends, is a bit more nuanced than a simple yes or no. While it's true that some people might be more tempted to procrastinate when they're not in a traditional office setting, there's also a growing body of evidence that suggests that remote work can actually lead to an increase in productivity. While it's true that some people might be more tempted to procrastinate when they're not in a traditional office setting, there's also a growing body of evidence that suggests that remote work can actually lead to an increase in productivity. This evidence challenges the conventional wisdom and opens up new possibilities for how we think about work. A study by Stanford University, for example, found that employees who worked from home were 13% more productive than their office-bound counterparts. This study is often cited in discussions about remote work because it provides empirical evidence that challenges the traditional view of productivity. The study attributed this increase in productivity to a number of factors, including a quieter work environment, fewer distractions, and a more flexible schedule. These factors create a work environment that is conducive to deep focus and sustained effort, which are essential for high-quality work. But here's the thing, productivity isn't just about how many hours you work or how many tasks you complete. It's also about the quality of your work, your creativity, your innovation, and your overall well-being. These aspects of productivity are often overlooked in traditional metrics, but they are crucial for long-term success. It's also about the quality of your work, your creativity, your innovation, and your overall well-being. When employees are in an environment that supports their mental and emotional health, they are more likely to produce work that is not only efficient, but also innovative and impactful. And when it comes to those factors, remote work has a lot to offer. The flexibility to choose your work environment can lead to a more balanced and fulfilling work life. This balance is essential for maintaining high levels of motivation and engagement over the long term. When employees feel empowered to work in a way that suits their individual needs and preferences, they're more likely to be engaged, motivated, and productive. This empowerment comes from having the autonomy to design a workday that aligns with their natural rhythms and personal responsibilities. They're also more likely to be happier, which, as it turns out, is good for business. Happy employees are more likely to stay with their company, reducing turnover and the associated costs of hiring and training new staff. They are also more likely to go above and beyond in their roles, contributing to a positive and productive work culture. So, while it's important to measure productivity, it's also important to remember that it's not the only metric that matters. Companies that focus solely on productivity metrics may miss out on the broader picture of employee well-being and satisfaction, which are equally important for long-term success. The future of work is about finding a balance between productivity and well-being, between flexibility and collaboration, between the needs of the company and the needs of its employees. This balance is not only possible, but also necessary for creating a sustainable and thriving work environment. As we move forward, it's crucial to embrace new ways of thinking about work and to create systems that support both productivity and happiness. In conclusion, the question of whether we can measure happiness is intertwined with how we measure productivity. Both are essential components of a fulfilling work life, and both require a nuanced approach that goes beyond traditional metrics. By embracing flexibility, supporting well-being, and fostering a culture of trust and autonomy, we can create work environments that are not only productive but also genuinely happy. As we continue to explore the future of work, let's remember that happiness and productivity are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they are deeply interconnected, and by prioritizing both, we can create a work culture that is truly thriving. "2025, crystal ball or crapshoot?" So, here we are, standing on the precipice of 2025, gazing into the swirling mists of the future, trying to discern what the world of work will look like in this brave new era. Will we all be beamed into virtual offices, our physical forms replaced by customizable avatars, sipping digital lattes and engaging in awkward small talk with disembodied voices? Or will we see a mass exodus from the major cities as workers, liberated from the shackles of the office, flee to more idyllic locales, trading their cramped apartments for sprawling homes with dedicated home offices and breathtaking views? The truth, as is often the case, is likely to lie somewhere in between these two extremes. The future of work is not about choosing one model over another. It's about embracing the possibilities, about creating a world of work that is flexible, adaptable, and, dare we say, even enjoyable. So buckle up, my friends, because the ride is far from over. The future of work is being written as we speak, and it's a story that's far from finished. Navigating the new world of work. Jhoga Coaching and Consulting can help. Navigating the complexities of the modern workplace can feel like traversing a labyrinth blindfolded. The constant changes, new technologies, and evolving expectations can make it difficult to find your way. The path forward is rarely clear, and the wrong turn can lead to dead ends of frustration, burnout, and unfulfilled potential. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and unsure of the next step. That's where Jhoga Coaching and Consulting comes in. We're here to provide the guidance and support you need to navigate these challenges effectively. We're your trusted guides in this ever-evolving world of work, providing the clarity, support, and strategies you need to achieve career excellence. Whether you're an individual seeking to navigate a career transition or a company looking to optimize your remote or hybrid work model, our tailored approach ensures that your unique needs and goals are met. We help individuals identify their strengths and passions, clarify their career goals, and align them with their personal values and aspirations. Develop a strategic career plan that is actionable and realistic, build their network and confidence, and equip them with the skills needed to thrive in their chosen field and land their dream job. We celebrate every success with you, knowing that each achievement is a step towards a fulfilling career. We help companies develop effective remote and hybrid work policies that are sustainable and adaptable to future changes, foster a positive and productive remote work culture that keeps employees engaged and motivated, equip their teams with the skills and tools for remote success, ensuring they can work efficiently from anywhere, improve communication and collaboration in a remote environment, and create a cohesive team dynamic even when working apart, and optimize their workforce for the future of work. We prepare your organization to be resilient and forward-thinking. Don't let the challenges of the modern workplace hold you back. With the right guidance and support, you can overcome any obstacle. Take charge of your career, embrace the future of work, and achieve your full potential with Jhoga Coaching and Consulting by your side. We are committed to your success and will be with you every step of the way. Are you ready to take your career to the next level? The journey to a fulfilling and successful career starts with a single step. Book a complimentary career breakthrough call with Jhoga Coaching and Consulting today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Let us help you navigate the new world of work with confidence and clarity. Together, we can turn your career aspirations into reality. The crossroads of work, a recap of our journey. Well, dear viewers, we've reached the end of our winding road, our digital exploration of the ever-evolving, occasionally perplexing and always fascinating world of work. We've witnessed the rise of remote work, the emergence of hybrid models, and the ongoing debate over the role of the traditional office. We've explored the impact of technology, the challenges of maintaining culture in a virtual world, and the importance of prioritizing employee well-being in a rapidly changing workplace. We've heard from companies like Chipotle grappling with the 4-day workweek conundrum and Amazon leading the charge back to the office. We've seen how companies like DirecTV and Yelp have embraced remote work and thrived, while others are still struggling to find their footing in this new landscape. But most importantly, we've learned that there's no one-size-fits-all solution, no magic formula for workplace success in the 21st century. The future of work is not about choosing one model over another, it's about finding what works best for your company, your employees, and your specific circumstances. The future is flexible, embracing adaptability in the workplace. If there's one overarching theme that's emerged from our exploration, it's the importance of flexibility. The workplace of tomorrow will be shaped by forces that are difficult to predict, from rapid technological advancements to evolving employee expectations to unforeseen global events like, say, a global pandemic that forces everyone to work from their kitchen tables for a year. In this environment of constant change, the ability to adapt, to be agile and responsive to new challenges and opportunities will be paramount. Companies that cling to rigid structures and outdated models, those that resist change and fear experimentation, will struggle to keep pace. Those that embrace flexibility, those that are willing to try new things, to learn from their mistakes, and to adapt to the evolving needs of their workforce, will be the ones that thrive in the years to come. The journey continues. Embrace the possibilities, shape your destiny. As we conclude our exploration of the future of work, one thing is abundantly clear. The journey is far from over. The world of work is in a constant state of flux, and the only constant is change. But rather than fearing this change, let's embrace it. Let's view it as an opportunity to shape our own destiny, to create a future of work that is more flexible, more human-centered, and more fulfilling for everyone. The future of work is not something that will simply happen to us. It's something we create together through our choices, our actions, and our unwavering belief in the power of human ingenuity and collaboration. So let's step boldly into the future of work, armed with the knowledge, the tools, and the unwavering determination to create a world of work that works for everyone. And remember, as the great Maya Angelou once said, "Nothing can dim the light which shines from within."